Hello, hello, you lovely, beautiful beings. Welcome back to Muse. My name's Damaris, and we're here chatting about creativity and self-expression, all that jazz. But tell me, why does creativity feel like a faucet some days and like a rusty pipe on others? Today we're exploring the topics of flow and taste and how these two forces shape your creativity more than discipline ever could. If you've been trying to be more consistent, more creative, more yourself in your work, then this episode will help you finally understand why some days your work feels electric and why others feel like literal sludge. We're going to explore flow as energy and taste as your compass. Think of the last time that you were so absorbed in what you were creating that your phone didn't even exist. That right there is critical data. That is your flow signal. But what is flow really? When people talk about flow, what do you think that actually refers to? Flow isn't productivity. It isn't about hyper focusing on something. Flow is what happens when your brain, your body, and your attention are all moving in the same direction. It's hard to explain when you're in the state of flow of what that actually is or how to describe it. But I would say feeling aligned or in that state of clear direction in all those states is the most clarity in what flow feels like. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is distracting you. I have felt in this state of flow in my creative work, my creative process, in pottery, when I'm throwing on the wheel. I feel so in tune with my body and my mind being in the same place at the same time, desiring the same outcome. I also felt this when I was cooking, when I'm adding all the ingredients, when I'm chopping up the vegetables, adding the spices, I'm in a place and a state of moving towards a specific outcome, but feeling aligned in my body, in my mind, as I'm working, to the point that nothing else is taking away from that feeling, from that intention. Flow is the river. You don't push it, you just move with it. You go alongside it and move down the river with the flow of the water. So now that we understand flow, it is the thing that gets you moving. It's that motion, the action of being immersed in something. Now, taste is where you decide to go with that movement. You can't refine your taste if you haven't been in motion. You can't stay in that flow state if you have nothing that's pulling you towards it. There isn't a direction that is taking you somewhere. Think of taste as your intuitive yes. It's the part of you that knows when something just feels right before you understand what that means. That's your taste. As someone who went to culinary school, I was in the culinary world. I was a cook in different places. Chefs don't actually just naturally have good taste or good taste buds. It's something that they develop over time. How do they develop this? They burn things. They make things over and over and over again. They test recipes. They test how things combine together. They experiment. They look at many aspects of whatever dish they're wanting to make, whether it's specifically the taste of something, the texture, the color, the consistency, all these aspects that go into making that food or that item taste good, look appealing, feel good, even, are things that are acquired through time, through trial and error. That taste, the essence of what makes a good chef, is how over time they are able to refine what works well together or not, in their opinion. Because every chef has different taste, just like you will have different taste than me. Refining what makes you different, what makes your taste, your palate different from mine, is the beautiful thing of finding what taste is. I think I've talked about this before. It's something that I've come to a realization about myself. I don't choose one direction and stay on that path forever. How I do that is by following what pulls me, whether it's curiosity, whether it's intuition of something, whether it's just an interest, something sparks an idea. I'm constantly being pulled in different directions and I follow where it takes me. And I continually adjust my taste for what is aligning for me at any given time. Now I see that I really was just recalibrating myself, my taste. That's the chef in me. That's the artist in me. Continually refining, recalibrating. And I know that some of you might also think in this way. You just maybe never had a language for it, but now you do. If you open up your camera roll right now and scroll to the last 5 screenshots that made you pause, there's a pattern there. That's your taste talking. This is how flow and taste move together. And this could be a way that you can understand how to look for and continually come back into flow and refining your taste. So, number one, there is movement, the flow. It begins with motion. It's that energy that moves you to follow something. It wakes up the creativity inside of you. Even 5 minutes of movement in this creative energy creates momentum, which then puts you in that flow current state. Now that you're in there, number 2, notice. This is your taste. Once you're moving, your intuition turns on. It ignites. Your energy naturally gravitates towards what's exciting, what's beautiful, what's igniting inside of you in whatever it is that you're working on. It just feels right. This is where you start discovering what your taste is, what's pulling you. How do you refine what pulls you? You're choosing this versus this. That is your taste. Why are you choosing this? This is where you're noticing when you're choosing certain things, when you're in the state of flow. This is how you can reflect on that, which then goes into number 3, refine. Now, taste sharpens through experimentation, through exploration, repetition, and attention to detail. The only way that you're going to be able to refine what your taste is, creating this identity of who you are, what your creative work looks like, what makes you stand out from other people, is continually doing the work, continually being in that flow state, continually refining and understanding why you choose something versus something else. What is that yes that pulls you in any given direction? That's where flow becomes artistry. And I can say that I did this with pottery over and over again. When you're throwing on the wheel, you continually are doing the same exact things over and over again, whether it is you're making a bowl, a cup, a vase, you continually do the same movements. It's only until closer to the end where you're choosing the shape that comes out. So are you going to make something tall like a vase? Are you going to make something wide like a bowl? Are you going to make something short and stubby like a cup, a mug? Are you going to add a thumbprint? And all those little details are refining slowly what shape is taking place and refining my taste, what makes my work look different from other people. And then that will also come in when I add a handle. Why did I choose this handle shape? What colors I make it? What things I carve into it? All these little details slowly refine my taste, my identity, my work, to the point that people were able to notice something that was mine because it had a certain look, a certain aesthetic through the decisions and the repetition that I did over and over and over again to get to where I'm like, this is what I like, this is why I like it, this is what makes my work mine. Number 4, repeat. Creativity is cyclical. It's not linear. It's continually moving up and down and through and over, which is why flow state is hard to have consistently. The only way you can stay in flow state continually is if you continually do the work, if you're continually in movement, if you continually repeat over and over again the things that you're trying to make, the things that you're trying to know about yourself. Every time you loop around makes your flow easier to get into, to come back to every time, which then helps you make those refined decisions on what your taste is easier. It all continually becomes much easier as you continue to get into that creativity, into that movement over and over again. The more you loop, the more you-ness comes out in your work. It's just natural. That is what's going to happen. And this is what's going to be your creative fingerprint. What makes your work yours. Uniquely you. Recognizable, embodied, and refined. Which is amazing. It's so cool to get to that point. And it never ends. It will continue to evolve as you evolve as an artist, as you evolve as a creative person. The more that you go through this loop, the more that things change and impact you as an individual, the more those refinements, that flow will change and evolve with you, which will create that taste and that specific fingerprint even more yours. When flow and taste work together, whether or not you have a super clear direction to start with, it will naturally evolve to give you one once you start going through this loop over and over again. That direction will come out because being in that flow state is what creativity is. You're just creating and you're enjoying it, and it's fulfilling because it's yours. It's your expression of whatever feelings are coming out, whatever embodiment of your life of who you are is coming out into your work. If you could, I would say choose one creative moment this week to follow or flow for 10 minutes and notice what your taste gravitates towards. That's your path. Start there. It's not always easy to get into flow state. It's not always easy to refine what your taste is. These are just a few little stepping stones, little thought intentions that you can take into your work the next time that you are wanting to get into this flow state, into refining your creative identity. Thanks so much for tuning in. I could talk about this topic forever. I think it's so interesting, and I think it's what really makes us creatives, makes us artists, and wanting to express who we are and share who we are to the world, which I think is so beautiful. I hope you have an amazing day. Please share, like, follow if you haven't already. Maybe send this to someone that you think could use a little support in finding their flow. We will see you next week. Take care, and as always, keep creating. Bye.